keep from singing? Sue and John, I know that wasn't a piece that we talked about when you came to meet with me, but yet a week or so ago when I started to put this service together, the text of that hymn, those words kept coming back to me again and again and again. I almost could hear Wes singing them. For I couldn't help but believe that they spoke so well of Wes, your dad, and his life and his faith in God. So I asked Randall and Charles if we could include that in today's service. My life flows on in endless song, above earth's lamentation. I hear the clear, though far-off hymn that hails a new creation. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging. Since Christ is Lord of heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? I can't help but think, and I know many members of the Cherry Hill Presbyterian Church cannot think of Wesley Dalton without hearing his beautiful tenor voice echoing in this sanctuary, and without thinking of his long and successful musical career. I told Sue and John that I was only here but a few days, about 7 years ago, when one afternoon a knock came upon my door, and the gentleman identified himself as Wesley Dalton, and he was armed with one of his CDs that he gave to me. He gave me a few others that day too. This one is entitled Love in My Heart, Wesley Dalton, tenor. We always knew when Wes would be in Dearborn, home from Florida, visiting, because his voice led us in our singing that day. Wes was a choir member and soloist here at Cherry Hill for many years after he joined his congregation in 1967. He also served as youth choir director, and he is maybe best remembered for his role as the herald in this church's beloved performance of the Boar's Head Festival. It was Wes's voice that began the festival each year with the words and the melody of the Boar's Head Carol. I still remember how moved I was when Wes came and sang for the memorial service for his son Fred back in 2016. One of the pieces Wes sang that day was a lullaby, Bluebird of Happiness, that he said he used to sing for Fred and David and Susan and John. While Cherry Hill Church was one of Wes's greatest joys, and he treasured the many long-time friendships he had here, as most of us know, his talents were shared well beyond these walls. He performed with the Detroit Light Opera Company while a student at Wayne State University. At the age of 22, Wes was selected for the role of Pinkerton in the New York City Opera's production of Madonna Butterfly. After that performance, he signed a 3-year contract and appeared in La Bohème, La Traviata, and Don Giovanni with the New York City Opera. Later on, he went on to sign another contract with Columbia Records, recorded The Student Prince, Desert Song, and Merry Widow. And in addition to his study at Wayne State, Wes traveled to Italy on a Fulbright scholarship to study opera in Rome. How can I keep from singing? Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear music ringing. It finds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging. Since Christ is Lord of heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? I can't help but believe that it was the music in Wes's soul, the song that was lodged to the depths of his soul, the song of his faith, that gave him the strength to sing in the sunshine and to sing in the rain. I believe it was his love of God and his faith in God that enabled him to sing his way through all the various scenes of life, in tumult and in strife, in joy and in laughter. Back in June, Sue shared with me that just a day or so before he died, she and John and Wes sang together. As I said, I was moved a few years ago when Wes's voice was still strong. He sang here for the memorial service for his son Fred, and he sang for us for worship the following Sunday. Many were so impressed that Wes was able to do that emotionally. And throughout all the changing scenes of his life, Wes was able to continue to sing because he knew the truth of those words. No storm can shake my inmost calm. While to that rock I'm clinging, how can I keep from singing? Death is nothing at all. I have always slipped away to the next room. I am I, and you are you. Whatever we were to each other, that we are still. Call me by my old familiar name. Speak to me in the easy way that you always did. Put no difference in your tone. Wear no forced air of solemnity or sorrow. Laugh as we always laughed at the little jokes we enjoyed together. Play, smile, think of me, pray for me. Let my name ever be the household word that it always was. Let it be spoken without effect. Life means all that it ever meant. Why should I be out of mind simply because I'm out of sight? I am waiting for you for a short time, somewhere very near. All is well with me now. I wonder if those might not be words that Wes would speak to us this afternoon if he were able to. Reminding us that even though he has died, and there is sadness, and death is indeed a loss, and there's grieving in the parting, we can find our comfort today knowing, as I said at the beginning, that Wes is alive for all of eternity. That the Good Shepherd who walked beside Wes all the days of his life has now guided Wes home to that place so lovingly prepared for him. And that Wes is still singing the songs of his faith, maybe still singing songs of the love in his heart, but on a distant shore now, surrounded by the choirs of heaven. And best of all, the Apostle Paul tells us that nothing can separate us from those we love. Nothing. Not even death. So maybe in a very real way, through God's Spirit, we are still united with Him. And that He is as close to us as our fondest memory of Him. And maybe when we hear some aria, or some beloved old gospel hymn, or even a love song, maybe His voice continues to sing on, and will continue to sing in each of our lives. Certainly, Wes's life was blessed by his family and by all who knew him and loved him. But his life was especially blessed by his children. So it is appropriate then at this time that Wes's daughter Susan share her memories of her father. Susan.
My dad loved Cherry Hill Church. This church meant a great deal to him for over half of his life, and he took that with him until the day he died. He never stopped talking about Cherry Hill Church and how much he wanted to be here. When I brought him from Florida in March, he was able to come for one Lenten service. And he got to see a lot of the church members, and I'm so grateful because right after that, the pandemic kicked in and he was not able to return. But each week he would say, "Are we going to church?" And I'd say, "Not this week, Dad." And he would sit out on my back porch, singing, practicing for the solo he thought he was going to sing when church opened back up. And he fooled us because he didn't stop singing. And he sang till almost the day he died. And he finally fell asleep very peacefully and didn't wake back up. But that's why we thought he was okay, because he didn't stop singing. So that was a great choice for the solo Randall did. It's perfect. I want to talk about the members here and what great friends they were of my father's. He would go through the membership list with me when he was lying in bed or on the couch when he was sick. Sometimes he'd ask about different people. He would ask me to dial a number, and he would call people and chat with them not long before he died. And I want to thank everybody for the donations they made in my father's name, for all the cards I got with such encouraging, kind, comforting words. It's meant so much to our family, and it's been a real comfort. And I want to thank all of the church members for their friendship over the years to my father, and just for making him a part of your lives. And I'm just grateful that this church was such a big part of my dad's and my family's lives. We have many, many happy memories here, and we'll continue to. Thank you.
Thank you, Sid. I know that as we gather together this afternoon, wherever we are, whether it be near or far, all of you come with many memories of Wes. And he'll, as I said, he'll continue to live on through them. But his life was more than just a memory. I believe that all those good things that we love the most about him should be passed on by you, his family, and his friends. May the song of Wes's faith, his faith in God, may that song continue to sing on through each of our lives. Indeed, may that song continue to find breath in our souls. Someone once said, "Death is not extinguishing the light, it is merely putting out the lamp because the dawn has come." As I said at the beginning of the service, I believe that the day will come for each and every one of us when some great eternal dawn will break for us. And we'll see each other again. And we will know and love each other even better than before. On that great day, there will be no more pain, no more sickness, no more tears. And best of all, on that day, there will be no more goodbyes. Surely on that last night, when we fall asleep in the arms of Jesus, Wes's voice will be among all those friendly voices that welcome us home to that holy city that expects the safe return of all of God's children. How can I keep from singing? How can we keep from singing? May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with us all. Amen. Please join me in our Litany of Remembrance. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we remember that. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember that. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember that. When we have joys we yearn to share, we remember that. So long as we live, they too shall live, for now they are a part of us. We remember that. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember that. In the opening buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember that. In the sparkle of the waves on the water in the summer, we remember that. In the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember that. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember that. Today, tomorrow, and on all the days yet to be, we remember that.